Today's lesson is on direct variation. It is SOL 8.18, and you'll learn, given the direct variation equation, to identify the constant of variation in the relationship between K and M. Okay, so the direct variation equation is y equals kx. Say that to yourself 3 times. So that must be memorized. K is the constant. K is the same as slope. So if you see the words y varies directly as x, you should immediately write down y equals kx. So if you look at each one of these equations, the first one being y equals 3x, and if I ask you what is the constant of variation there, then you'll know it's y equals mx, whoops, not m, y equals kx is direct variation, so my k is equal to 3, and that's exactly the same thing as the slope. So please note it is the same thing. On this one, what is k equal to? -7, and that's what the slope is also. Here y is equal to 1/5 x, k is equal to 1/5, and here k is equal to -1. There's no coefficient of x, therefore it has to be -1. If I look at this, I'm going to count my slope here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So my slope is 3 divided by 3. M is equal to 1. So k is equal to 1. Here, when we're given a pattern, remember the difference in y over the difference in x. So we can say -9 minus -3. I'm using slope formula over 3 minus 1. So that's -6 over 2, which is -3. So here, my slope is -3. K is -3. So if I were to write this equation, it would be y equals -3x. Now to write the direct variation equation with the given information. Remember, direct variation, y equals kx. So this is y equals 5x, y equals -9x. Here, how can I figure out what k is? Well, k is the same as the slope. So all I need to do is find a good intersection point, origin, and where is there another good point? Let's go with this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. So y is equal to 5/9 x. Again, k is the same as m. Plus, if it is direct variation, it always, always, always has to go through the origin because there is no b. There is no y-intercept except 0. A direct variation equation always goes through the origin. So again, goes through the origin. And there's a good intersection point, and here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So k is equal to 4 over 2, which is 2. And my direct variation equation is y equals 2x. So again, direct variation, y equals kx. To graph each of these, again, where is the y-intercept? In a direct variation, always, 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 it is the origin. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Y equals 3x. Here, y equals -4x. Of course, we're going to end up with a negative slope. And that's it. So direct variation, very easy. Y equals kx, and it always goes through the origin. To graph each one of these, y, oh, this one's kind of messed up. Y equals 2/3 x. Go ahead and graph that on your own. And here y should be equal to negative x. Graph that on your own. So most of the time when you see direct variation, you might see it as a proportion problem. For each example, suppose y varies directly as x. You will have two answers, an equation and a value. So if y equals 28 when x equals 7, find y when x equals 2. So the first thing you need to do with the first part of the equation is solve for k. You're given your y, you're given your x. So you're going to divide by 7 on both sides, and 4 is equal to k. So now that's the equation. We're going to plug in here. Y is equal to 4x. And now it says find y when x equals 2. So y is equal to 4 times 2. Y is equal to 8. So let's recap what I did there. You take the first part of your sentence and you plug in your y and your x and you solve for k. Now you write your direct variation equation, which is y equals 4x in this case. Plug in whether your x or your y, whichever one they give you, and you solve for the other value. And it will tell you which one to solve for. So let's go ahead and do number 2. Y equals 4 when x equals 12. So they gave me a y, they gave me an x. I'm going to solve for k. Again, the form is y equals kx. 4 equals k times 12. The opposite of multiply by 12 is to divide by 12. And 1/3 is equal to k. So my direct variation equation is y equals 1/3 x. So now they're saying find y when x equals negative 24. So I take my k of 1/3, multiply it by my x, and y is equal to negative 8. So it's pretty straightforward, but again, there's 2 steps involved here. You must get an equation and the value. Go ahead and do these 2 and bring them to class, and solving for x in both of them.